Hi guys, how's everybody doing? As you can tell, me sitting in the kitchen again means only one thing. It is extremely hot in Bangkok today. I've just checked, it's 37 degrees. It feels more like 40. I would have liked to have gone up to the swimming pool to do this video, but in about 5 minutes I would have been drenched. So unfortunately, you're gonna have to put up with a view of my kitchen again. Never mind. Okay, so what I'm gonna talk about today, I wanna talk about something that kind of has been annoying me quite recently. I watch a lot of TikTok videos and I watch a lot of shorts on YouTube, and the reason I watch quite a lot of them is they're really good because they only last for about a minute, 30 seconds, so they're handy when you're waiting for somebody to turn up or you're in a restaurant waiting for your food. You don't have to sit through a real long video, you just flick through lots of TikTok videos or whatever. But what I've been noticing recently is there's a lot of people on TikTok and there is a lot of people on YouTube, and especially younger people who are putting out these videos that Thailand is so cheap that they live here on, you know, as little as kind of $750, $800 a month. And I'm not saying that's impossible to do. If you meet a girl and you move up to a village in Isan, the expenses are very, very low, especially if she's got her own place, or even if you have to rent. You know, you can rent a room up in Isan for as little as 4,000 or 5,000 baht a month. And if your girlfriend does all the cooking, then yeah, you can live on maybe $1,000 a month, even less. But these guys are not doing that. What these guys are doing is they're going out partying every night. They're in nightclubs, you know, proper nightclubs over at Tonglo where it's expensive. And, you know, they're partying, they're going to beach parties, full moon parties, they're getting drunk every night. And they're putting out this false information that Thailand is so cheap that you can live full-time, party full-time, and you can do it on a shoestring budget. And a lot of them are actually encouraging people to come out here and say, look, why would you want to put up with England, the weather, or, you know, wherever you come from in the USA? And they're just putting out this real false information. And quite frankly, it does really annoy me because I know what prices are like out here. And a lot of these videos that they talk about living out here cheaply, they don't include a lot of the things that you still have to pay for. It doesn't matter where you live in the world. I'll go through one or two of them in a minute. But it doesn't matter where you live in the world, as I say, you still have to have certain things that you need to pay for. A lot of these guys also say that if you compare prices to, say, the UK, for instance, where I come from, the prices are just so much lower. And again, it's just not true. If I give you one example, if you look at fast food, KFC, McDonald's, you know, that's on a par with Europe and America, and in some cases it's actually more expensive. I know America's got very, very expensive fast food now, but that's just one small example. The other example is rent. Guys will tell you, I've got this apartment and I'm paying 7,000 baht a month, or say it in pounds or dollars, whatever, but it's a very low amount. But what they don't tell you, you know, I'm living in central Bangkok here. I'm paying 20,000 for this 50 square foot apartment, and I've got a good deal. Believe me, these apartments are going for 25,000 plus now just because of the location. And these guys are giving the impression that they're living in an apartment similar to this, 50 square meters, and they're partying every night. And these apartments are so cheap. You know, come over from Europe, rent an apartment. And what they don't tell you, you know, they don't tell you about the deposit. Sometimes it's 2 months deposit. They don't tell you that you can get the cheap apartments here, but what they don't tell you is that these real cheap apartments are on the, you know, in neighborhoods many, many miles away from central Bangkok. And when I say central Bangkok, I'm talking about Sukhumvit or Silom, those kind of areas. You can go away out to Bangwa or the other end of the line to Bang Na. You can rent a room in a Thai neighborhood, probably, yeah, 7,000 baht, 5,000 baht. But these guys don't fit the profile for that. I know guys who live like that. You know, their Thai wives cook every day. They go to the markets, they eat in local Thai restaurants. They pay minimal everything because they're out in a Thai neighborhood. So these guys putting out the false information, they're giving the information as if to say that's how they are living, but actually they're partying and they're meeting girls, and, you know, it's a non-stop party here in Thailand. So the whole point of this video, other than me whinging, the whole point of this video is just, if you're coming out here for the first time or you haven't been out here, come out here and see for yourself how much things cost. Now, again, I'm not saying you can't live cheaply out here. You can. It depends what kind of a lifestyle you live. But the videos that these guys are putting out there, the party animals, as it were, you just can't do it on $1,000 a month. The other things they don't think about is things like the visas, for instance. How are you going to stay out here long term if you're under 50 or you're not on a work permit. Yes, you can get special visas for charity work, for learning languages, things like that. But those visas have been abused in the past. Immigration have tightened up now. In the old days, you could get on a bus and go over the border to Cambodia. You could get a month's stamp and come back. I knew guys 30 years ago who lived here, and that's what they did. They went out of the country every month. They took a BART bus, a Toyota minibus up to the Cambodian border. But those days are way gone. You know, you come by land more than 2 times, and the immigration officer has a right to refuse you. I know a guy who's in Malaysia right now. He's got an apartment in Jomtien, and that's what he was doing. As he understood it, if you flew in, you could fly in as many times as you want. It wasn't the case. On about his 4th or 5th trip, the immigration just said, well, we don't believe you're a tourist and we're not letting you in. I'm not letting you into the country. He's stuck in a hotel in Malaysia, and all his things are in an apartment in Jomtien, Pattaya, so he doesn't know what he's going to do. But the whole point of this video is about costs, not immigration. So, you know, you've got to think they don't explain what visa you have to be here long term. So they're making videos saying, come on guys, move out to Thailand, it's so cheap, it's a party animal's dream, there's girls everywhere, and you can do it on a really tight budget. So the things that they don't talk about the cost of visas or agents, if you use agents. As I said, they talk about apartments as being absolutely real cheap, but maybe in the center of Bangkok. They don't talk about medical, you know, so even young guys sometimes have to buy medicines. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about insurance either. You know, it's just it's actually a real cavalier kind of attitude. Just come out here and don't worry about it. And I know when you're young, I can remember when I was a bit younger. You do have that kind of attitude. Well, let's just suck it and see, and you know, if it goes bad, we'll go back with our tail between our legs. But honestly, guys, if you watch these videos and you're kind of like thinking, wow, this is something, you know, I could do. I don't have much money. I could go out to Thailand and live. Don't do it, guys. Honestly, don't do it. It won't work out. You'll be miserable. I've known guys to retire out here in Pattaya. They haven't had enough money, and what happens, they get to absolutely hate the tourists, because they see the tourists come here, they're flashing their cash, they're ringing the bell, they're giving the bar girls money, they're spending like there's no tomorrow, but they've had a year to save up to do that. And these guys are now retired out here, they're hanging around bars in a Singer t-shirt and flip-flops, and they're begging beers off people. So, you know, you don't want to end up like that. So just be very cautious. So I'll give you an idea of some of the things here in Thailand, not just Bangkok, some of the things that are still cheap and some of the things that are expensive. So if you come out here and you're not a party animal, for instance, and you don't mind living out a little bit, out of the center of Bangkok, or maybe in one of the smaller villages, not somewhere like Pattaya can be cheaper, but it's not as cheap as like up in Isan there. Yeah, you can still live very cheap. Rent will be cheap. Eating will be cheap if your girlfriend cooks food. As I say, fast food and restaurant dining is not particularly cheap here. If you eat Thai food in a Thai restaurant, the right Thai restaurant, it can be cheap. Taxis are still cheap if they put the meters on. The transportation system here in Bangkok, the MRT, the BTS, very cheap, good value. You can get all over the city. Pattaya, you've got the 10 baht bus, the BART buses as they used to be called. And it's 10 baht to go one street, basically, the length of the beach road. So things like that are still cheap. You know, your mobile phone packages, your electricity. Electricity's gone up quite a bit, actually. In this apartment, I used to pay about 1,600 baht a month for my electricity. I've got 2 air cons, one in the bedroom, one here. But obviously, now I'm paying about 2,500 baht a month. So electric has gone up. Water's very cheap here. My water bill is about 140 baht a month total. That's all my showers, and I've got a washing machine here. You know, just very cheap. So that's cheap living like that, of course. But what's expensive is if you use an agent to get a visa, that can work out quite expensive. If you want driving licenses and you don't do it yourself, that can kind of work out expensive using agents. Insurance, that can be expensive as well. Obviously, if you're younger, I guess it's going to be less expensive because you're more likely not to get sick at a younger age. So there is still quite a bit of things here in Thailand that is cheap. But on the expensive side, anything entertainment wise, especially in Bangkok, is very expensive now. If you're into the ladies, which a lot of guys aren't, but a lot of guys are, you're going to need a lot of money. You're going to need a lot more than $1,000 a month, believe me. With the cost of ladies' drinks in the bars now, you can be paying upwards of 200, 250 baht just for a ladies' drink. You calculate, you convert that back into your own currency. You buy 2 or 3 ladies' drinks, your bill will soon be quite big. I've known guys to go into bars here, they're naive, they ring the bell, all the ladies, it's like a feeding frenzy in a pool. And before you know it, the guy's got a 30,000 baht bar fine, and he's not going to leave there unless he pays it, or he's going to be in trouble. So anything to do with entertainment, the bars, the go-go bars, that sort of thing, you need big money here nowadays if you're going to do that regular. You still can go out to smaller bars and buy beers, and I wouldn't class it as cheap, but it's not overly expensive. The whole point, if I go right back to the beginning again, it's just these videos, they do annoy me because they're giving out false information. And all I'd say to finish this almost rant, all I'd say is check it out thoroughly, guys. There's a lot of good YouTube channels out there that give you solid information. You can find out any subject you want. You just put a search in how much your apartments and look at 2 or 3 different YouTubers. You don't rely on one person. But these guys who come on almost dancing into the beginning of the video or they have titles on the thumbnail like, you know, I party every night for $1,000 in Bangkok. I'm never going home. You know, bit of a mouthful that, but you get the idea, right? Really, don't believe it. It's absolutely, totally rubbish. It annoys me, and I'd hate to see anybody come out here and get unstuck based on those kind of videos. Okay, that's it from me. I'm not going to be doing any more whinging. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you real soon.